thin, thick, thin, thick, thin, thick. Whenever you read, do you ask questions during your reading, after you're reading, or before you're reading? Well, if you're reading properly, you should ask questions before you read, during you read, and after you read. You're supposed to ask questions on all of them. You failed. You didn't pass the test. Great job. No, I'm joking. But that's true. You're supposed to ask questions before you read, during you read, and after you read. Now, some of these questions you're going to ask are going to be different than other questions you ask. And the difference are mainly in the types of questions that I like to categorize into thin and thick questions. Now, what is a thin question? A thin question is a question that doesn't have too much to it, that can be solved almost immediately. That's right in the answer is right in the text. For example, if I were to read a text and I were to say, ask the question, well, what's the boy's name? And then right after they tell me the name of the boy, and that was a thin question. Okay? Because the answer to the question was given immediately inside the text. It was an easy answer because they gave us the answer. So that's a thin question. A thick question is a question that does not have an immediate answer. We are not given it inside the text. And we have to infer, which just means to make an educated guess, a guess that you make, which is like a guess that you make, but you make it off of previous clues you were given. For example, if I were to ask, well, why did the boy do that? Why did the boy make a choice? Why did the boy eat raspberry ice cream instead of vanilla? And they don't tell me the answer inside the text. They don't tell me why he chose raspberry instead of vanilla. Then that would be a thick question because I have to make a guess. I have to say, well, let's see. Does he like raspberries? Does he hate vanilla? Does he like the color pink or red? Does he do this? Does he do that? And that's why he did it? Because I have to guess. I have to make sort of a guess. I have to infer. I have to find out for myself as to why he made those decisions. And that would be a thick question. So a thin question is a question whose answer is immediately given or nearly immediately given, and it's given inside the text of the book or the thing you're reading. And a thick question is a question that's not immediately given or obvious, that is not given inside the text. And we have to infer, which just means make an educated guess as to what the answer to that question is. Now, when should you be asking these questions? All the time. You should be asking these questions all the time. Before you read, during, when you're reading, and after you're done reading. You always ask these questions, okay? Because it's good to ask questions. Because then you get answers. Or you try to find the answers at least. The more questions you ask, the more you will know. And that's for sure. So yeah, ask the questions before you read, while you're reading, and after you read. And see if they're thin or thick questions. Okay? So, yeah, thin, thick, stay in school, stay in school.